The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Puget Sound, Washington, on your new Pierce Fire apparatus, job number 38058. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. We'll get started on a brief orientation. Starting on the face of the front bumper on the outside edge, you'll find dual air horns. Just inside that location, you'll find your electronic siren and PA speaker. Moving toward the center where the frame rails are located, you have 2 tow hooks located here. These are not intended as for towing your vehicle. Moving toward the center, you'll find your mechanical siren. Let's move up onto the face of the cab. On the outer edge, you'll find a marker turn indicator light. Just inside that location is your headlight structure housing low and high beam headlights. High beam is located on the inside. Above that, forward-facing emergency warning light. There are grab handles located just below the windshield area, along with 3 windshield wipers across the seamless one-piece windshield. As we move to the A-pillar, you'll find your mirror housing a flat and convex mirror. Moving up to the brow of the apparatus, you'll find your forward-facing brow light. And then moving up onto the very top, you'll find your emergency warning light bar. Located within the light bar is your opticom. Let's take a look at the full view of the vehicle from the driver's side, and then we'll focus in on view items within the cab area. First, let's start with your corner light. This is a side-facing emergency warning light, part of the lower emergency warning zone. Easily accessible with a gloved hand. These are your door lock and latch. They are keyed. Also right next to it, you'll find grab handles for gaining access in and out of the cab. As you move to the rear of the apparatus, you'll find your auto ejects, along with an air eject. Moving up from that, part of the lower warning system. This is the emergency warning light in the lower right. As we move over the top of the front axle, you'll find a side-facing scene light. And then to the rear cab wall, you'll find an LED water tank level indicator. General view here of the pump panel. Let's move into the body section next. We'll come back to the pump panel. In front of and rear of the axle, you'll find folding wheel chock storage in the very base of the body section. Just in front of the rear axle is where you'll find a marker turn indicator light. Bottle storage location. Over the center axle, you'll find a side-facing emergency warning light, part of the lower emergency warning zone. At the very top, you'll find a side-facing scene light. And then as we move to the very rear of the apparatus, a 360-degree emergency warning light. We'll move around to the rear of the apparatus, full view, and then let's move into the side of the apparatus, full view. Let's take a quick look at the pump panel area. We'll come back to this in a few moments. And then moving to the cab section. Let's go ahead and move around to the driver's side of the vehicle. We'll move inside the cab space of the operator. Let's start first with the door panel. Affixed to the door panel, safety and warning placard information. Just above this location is your combination door lock and latch. And then just above that, you'll find window control for all 4 cab windows, and then a grab handle. Let's go ahead and take a look inside, first at the base of the stepwell. And then at the floor level, you'll find this yellow placard indicating the date of manufacture, 5-digit job number, gross vehicle weight rating, cold tire inflation, the VIN number, and then all of the fluid capacities for each component, fluid capacity, and then also fluid type. As we move to the floor, you'll find foot pedals for your electronic siren and mechanical siren. Moving up to about the left knee of the operator, master battery switch, tech module, and engine transmission ABS diagnostic port. This will be for your maintenance team. As we move down to the switches, you'll find ABS diagnostics, DPF regen, engine diagnostics, and regen inhibit, along with a display port. On the opposite side of the column, you'll find your pump shift. There are instructions from road to pump, and then also instructions from pump to road. Just as a reminder, for pump operations, you'll need two green indicators, pump engaged and OK to pump, before exiting the cab for pump operations. Also, you'll find your flat mirror and convex mirror controls. Let's move now to the dash. On the left, you'll find your four-way flasher, ignition, and start switch. Just moving inside of that, you'll find a switch labeled EM. This will activate all emergency lights with one button or deactivate. Also to the right is your headlight switch and a switch labeled panel, which allows you to brighten or dim lights within preview of the operator dash. To the right, the OK to engage your high idle indicator and switch. Up to the gauges where you'll find your transmission, oil, def level, and water temp. On the right, you'll find volts, fuel, front air, rear air, tachometer and speedometer located in the center. Diagnostic information displays above and below the speedometer. Let's move just to the right of this location for a general view, and we'll start at the very top section with your display. This is the Pierce Command Zone. Tremendous amount of information right here at your fingertips. Please see the owner's manual for more. It's a touchscreen and also function button. Engine brake on and off, setting switch for low and high, front wheel lock, off-road traction, and mirror heat. Pull to apply your system parking brake or push to release. It's the yellow diamond on your left. Allison transmission pad, digital readout, push button, informational, pump in drive. Also some warning information and constant information regarding your retarder. As we move to the right, you'll find climate control for heat, air conditioning, and defrost. Further to the right is where you're going to find the wheel-in control module for your electronic siren and also PA speaker system. Also, your unit radio is located in this area. As we move to the roof area, this is where you'll find this yellow placard on the left-hand side. This is the height of the vehicle, 9 feet 9 inches, along with the length 31 feet 1 inch. Gross vehicle weight rating 42,000 pounds. 5-digit job number is also on this placard. In addition, you have a push to talk for your radio system. Moving further to the right, we have some switches here indicating for emergency master, momentary opticom, driver scene, officer scene, front scene, rear scene, cornering lights, and perimeter lights. When any of these lights have been activated by the switch, the green light will illuminate around the edge. Moving to the right, we have a backup alarm disable, silence audible alarms, low intensity warning, load manager, siren brake for your mechanical siren, high beam flash, and air horn switch. Moving just to the right, you're going to find your traffic advisor. And then moving further to the right, you'll find in the very center at the roof level, do not move your apparatus if light is flashing. It's indicating you may have a compartment door open or ajar. General view here of the seats forward facing. There are 3 located here, 2 center SCBA seats. We're behind the driver's seat now, where you'll find a speaker with volume control for your backup camera. Also 12-volt access located here. Unit main radio, and then also intercom system. There is also an isolator switch. As we move to the exterior directly behind the driver's seat, adjustable shelving, LED lighting. We're now to the axle, where you'll find steel wheel and Goodyear tires. Moving now to the rear section of the cab area. Let's go ahead and move inside this area. Affixed to the door panel, safety and warning placard information, door lock and latch, electric window control, and grab handle. There are 2 compartments located rear facing. Adjustable shelves are located in these also. On the outer edge, we do have a pack here for the operator of the vehicle. Overhead, push on and off white or red lens lights, air conditioning unit, and unit speakers. This is directly forward of the forward seat. To the rear facing portion, additional storage, LED lighting inside this space. As we move in between the 2 rear seats, or between the 2 EMS compartments, you'll find daily checks for oil and transmission. Additional storage topside, this is at the roof level. And now we're looking at the passenger side rear-facing EMS compartment. Underneath the seat area, you'll find LED box light with a charging station. Overhead, you'll find additional storage, LED lighting. Just underneath the two forward-facing center seats, lift and turn latch will gain you access into this ventilated space. Moving back to the exterior, this is the shoreline inlet. This is an auto eject. That's the black label. And then just to the right of it is the air eject. Very bottom, you'll find additional storage here down the lower portion of the cab space. Let's now move into the pump panel area where you'll find the two master gauges. First, the pump intake master gauge, and then also the pump discharge master gauge. In between the two of those is the test gauge ports for vacuum and pressure. These are currently plugged and are utilized for testing purposes. As we move further down, you'll find all of our color-coded labels here indicating for the pre-connects. Also, you'll find some placards indicating here for the Husky foam system. There are system specifications along with operating instructions and a warning placard indicating entanglement hazard. Because of the lines from aloft, there's the possibility of entanglement. This is your FRC in control pressure throttle governor. To the right, if your pump is properly engaged from within inside the cab, this light will be illuminating, indicating OK to pump. Also, audible speaker. This does rotate on the outer bezel, allowing you to increase or decrease sound. We also have some switches located on the far right module here, and then those are going to control lights and also a red air horn switch. Foam tank 30 gallons, it's the green module. Blue tank 700 gallons. Moving further down on the pump panel, we have our cross lace located here, recirculating line and engine cooler right next to it. Moving further down, you'll find your pre-connect discharges. The red is indicating that they are foam capable. And then just to the right, you'll find the 2.5-inch discharges. Moving further to the right, we have an electronic valve. This is the switch operator for that. That's for your large diameter discharge. Then also an electric valve for your deck gun. And then to the right of that, a booster line, which is also foam capable. As we move to the right, you'll find the Watrous placard. Let's move further to the right, identify a few more items. This is the rear 2.5-inch discharge. It's also foam capable, along with a fire pump primer. This is an auto prime, the least 1,000 RPMs for best practices, along with a warning placard indicating fall hazard when climbing on or off the vehicle. Always face the vehicle. Moving further to the right, an additional electric valve, which we previously pointed out. And then also your tank fill and tank to pump. Just under the tank to pump, you'll find an additional electric valve. This is for your rear inlet. Also a warning placard indicating warning, foam failure. Do not mix different brands or consistencies of foam for the possibility of foam failure. Also warning regarding only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment, and that's only after proper training. Additional placard here for your minimum operation maintenance schedule. Those are the test pressures. We'll go back to those in just a few moments. Main tank drain. An additional warning here regarding pressure hazard. Caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening. Air supply. This is an air outlet. This is going to be on truck air. And then all of our color-coded and labeled discharge drains. To the very far right, we have a main pump drain and then also manual pump shift. Let's move just to the right of this location. Once again, rear intake. This is an electric valve. Moving further down, we have the warning regarding foam failure. Just below that, this is the foam function inlet. And then further down into the pan door area, let's go ahead and take a look in the pan door. As we look behind this area, this is your foam operation and also fill location. Yellow handle indicates its position depending on operation or fill. As we move to the running board, we have a cutout here for hose storage, seat belts for security. As we move further down, foam pump discharge drain, foam pump intake drain, and then all of our air tank drains. This is the Watrous placard indicating the capacity of your pump, 2,000 GPM. Minimum operation maintenance schedule for 150, 200, and 250 test pressures. Associated GPMs on the left-hand side of the placard, associated RPM on the right-hand side. Governed speed while in pump mode is 2,400 RPMs. Let's move now to the rest of the body. As we move into the compartments, we'll identify things within these spaces. First, in the front compartment, we're going to find shoreline outlet. When plugged into shoreline power, these become active. Also, 20 amp battery direct. Pull-out shelf on the lower right-hand side is the release mechanism for lock and unlock. Moving now to the middle compartment, just over the wheel, you'll find storage location in front of the rear axle. As we move into the compartment, you'll find shoreline outlets, meaning when plugged into shoreline power, this outlet becomes active, and also a 20 amp direct battery outlet. Storage location with retaining strap, Goodyear tire, steel wheel, air fill location for both tires, SCBA bottle storage for a single bottle with retaining strap, ultra low sulfur diesel fill, which is your silver cap. As we move the flap downward, it exposes the 4.5 US gallon DEF tank. Moving now to the rear compartment, toolboard on the rear cab vertical wall, adjustable shelving, also shoreline 20 amp and battery direct 12 volt. Moving to the opposite side or rear portion of the wall, you'll find a 15 amp battery direct. All compartment doors are open. Let's move from this location toward the rear of the apparatus and we'll identify a few items within this area. First, let's start with the left-hand side where you'll find a recessed backup camera, cup switched for your rear scene lights. Moving to the right-hand side, you'll find a large diameter rear discharge. This is locally controlled at the pump panel with the electric valve. As we move up, we have adjustable hosebed dividers. And then as we move toward the rear section, you'll find a 2.5 inch rear discharge. This is also a foam capable discharge. Just another shot here of the rear large diameter discharge. Traffic advisor located in the center. On the opposite side to the driver's or passenger side is where you'll find the rear intake. Also additional long handled or tool storage in addition with hose storage. Moving to the rear compartment, adjustable shelf in the center area. Moving around to the passenger side, toolboard on the rear wall, and then also you'll find your shoreline outlets 20 amp and also 15 amp battery direct 12 volt. As we move into the upper right hand corner, this is toward the rear of the apparatus, you'll find a 20 amp battery direct. As we move to the over wheel compartment, toolboard located here, D handle gains you access. The toolboard will lock into position. The release is located on the hinge side. On the rear wall, once again, shoreline outlet 20 amp, also toolboard mounting located on this wall, and a 20 amp battery direct. Moving now to the forward wheel compartment. This is where you'll find SCBA bottle storage along with an oxygen bottle storage. Goodyear tires, steel wheel. Moving now to the forward section, 3 SCBA bottle storage with retaining straps. Extremely hot diesel exhaust temperatures do exist. Be cautious where you park your vehicle. There's a warning placard here, and also the rewind foot pedal. As we move to the very top section of this compartment, you'll find shoreline outlet and then also a 15 and 20 amp battery direct 12 volt. Moving now to the pump panel. At the top section of the pump panel in the gray module, this is where you'll find your decontamination rinse system. Moving just below that, this is the information placard as to the instructions to operate that rinse system. And then also an additional placard here regarding warning entanglement hazard. That's because the line's coming from the crosslay. 2.5 inch discharge on the passenger side. And then moving into the powered equipment rack, there are instructions for its operation along with some caution and danger placard information. Moving now to the upper portion where you'll find your pre-connected hoses, color-coded and labeled. Additional discharges are located here, color-coded and labeled. As we move forward to this location, you'll find the cab lift.
There are instructions for its operation for raise and lower, also some caution and danger placard. Please ensure all items are secured within the cab prior to operation. Also, once again, warning placard regarding pressure hazard, and then all the way to the very far right, warning regarding fall hazard. Always face the vehicle while climbing on or off. As we move down, you'll find the decon fill location and also primer drain. Across the front section, you'll find all of our color-coded and labeled discharge drains, along with an access panel to gain access behind the pump panel for inspection. This is also location for the powered equipment rack reservoir. Moving down to the very bottom section, additional access into the panel area or behind panel area, along with at the very bottom a rear intake drain. Moving now to the pump panel lower section, this is a pull-out step area that folds out. It is tied to the do not move your apparatus. Moving forward into the cab area, additional storage. And now into the cab space at the rear crew cab, once again, affixed to the door panel, safety and warning placard information, door lock and latch, electric window control, and a grab handle. As we look overhead in the cab area, you'll find your push on and off red or white lens lights. Full view inside the cab area of the two EMS compartments rear facing. And then now to the two forward facing seats that house SCBAs and then a drop down seat on the outer edge. Moving now forward, this is just over the front axle for the officer storage location. Goodyear tire steel wheel. Let's go ahead and move now to the front officer space, first starting with the door panel. Affixed to the door panel all of our safety and warning information, in addition with a door lock and latch combination, grab handle, and electric window control. This vehicle is equipped with this supplemental restraint system, an airbag located in the front bolster area of the officer seat, along with the steering column. This is a warning placard indicating that airbag, and then also to the right you'll find at the A-pillar the fill location for your windshield wiper fluid. As we move to the front dash area, you'll find 12-volt access via USB, and then also a warning placard indicating spare wiring behind the panel. As we move overhead, you'll find the control module on the very far right side for the light located on the top of the vehicle. This is a spotlight. And then moving just to the left, you'll find your AM/FM weather band Bluetooth Sirius XM radio. Also some additional switches here for officer scene and siren brake. Moving back down to the dash area, you'll find the blue box, which is your push to talk for the officer headset system. Looking overhead, air conditioning unit, pull lanyard for your air horn, red and white LED lights. Moving now, all compartment doors open, and we'll have a few images here of the ladder rack deployed. On the ladder rack, we have a 24-foot extension ladder, 14-foot roof ladder, and then also on the very top, we have a 10-foot attic ladder. Let's go ahead and take a look at the upper portion of the vehicle. We'll start first with the cab area. This is considered a non-walking surface, and that's why we have these warning placards indicating that space is for not walking. As we move to the rear, we do have identified walking spaces here. The yellow diamonds do mark the outer perimeters of that walking space. As we move forward to this location, we're going to find your warm rinse water location, hydraulic reservoir, and then also you'll find a D handle gains you access into top storage location into your dunnage where your water tank is located, and then also where the foam tank A is located. We do have a warning placard indicating do not mix different brands or consistencies of foam for the possibility of foam failure. Top fill for your water tank. Also, as we move to the side, we do have hatch compartments at the very top section. LED lighting inside this space. Adjustable hose bed dividers. As we move now, the next set of images will be that of the cab, chassis, and body section and undercarriage. Let's go ahead and identify a few items within this area. We're now on the driver's side. This is the hydraulic lift cylinder for the cab. When the cab has been fully raised, please put this bar into position. Once equal pressure is on both cylinders, do not lower the cab onto this safety bar. Moving now to some engine information and chassis information. Your vehicle is equipped with a TAC4 independent front suspension, pictured here now. Moving to the engine area, this is your fill location for your power steering. There is a visual sight gauge and also dipstick. To the rear, the yellow is the engine oil dipstick, and the red is the dipstick for the transmission. As we move now to where the batteries are located, just underneath the battery box, you will find positive and negative jumper studs. Also, just to the rear of this location is where you'll find the fill location for your hydraulic lift cylinders. There'll be no additional audio from this point on. Congratulations, Puget Sound, Washington, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 38058. If you have any questions regarding your vehicle, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.